us a little bit about PETA's involvement with the film Green?
Yeah, PETA was approached to introduce the film Green, which is about the deforestation in Indonesia, and actually tells the story of an orangutan, the last days of an orangutan who's losing her life because of the loss of her habitat. And we were approached because PETA does a lot of work for great apes around the world. We actually mainly focus on captive great apes in the United States. But we're very supportive of conservation efforts all over the world with many different species, including great apes. So we were very happy to come and introduce the film tonight.
I know a lot of people have already heard about PETA and know a lot about your organization, but for those who don't, can you tell us a little bit about what it is that you do, the breadth and scope of your organization?
Yeah, well, PETA is a very large organization. I think it's the largest animal rights organization in the world. We have about 2 million members and supporters worldwide, and offices and affiliates all over the world. And we really work in every area that animals are used in. So in the use of animals for medical testing, we have a very large focus on the use of animals for food, the use of animals for fur and skins, and also in the entertainment industry. I am a primatologist for PETA, and I work mainly on issues concerning the use of great apes in the entertainment industry. There's a very big problem in the United States and all over the world, unfortunately, with chimpanzees and orangutans being used in film and television productions and advertisements, also being kept in roadside zoos and being used for live shows and circuses and events like that. A lot of people have no idea what goes into training a chimpanzee, for example, to do some of the behaviors that they see on television. It's very abusive. The animals are taken away from their mothers at birth and trained using very harsh methods, typically physical abuse. They're only used for a few years, and then they're typically discarded by their trainers. The trainers can go buy new babies, but these animals live into their 60s, so they may end up being sold as a pet, or which is another terrible life for them, or being dumped at a roadside zoo, or other substandard facilities where they'll languish for decades. So that's something we try to bring awareness to. We're also very involved in advocacy for chimpanzees who are used in biomedical testing. There's currently about 1,100 chimpanzees being used in biomedical testing in the United States. And despite international criticism, the U.S. is the last industrialized country in the world that still uses great apes in invasive research. So there's a lot of support for a bipartisan bill that Congress is currently considering. It's called the Great Ape Protection and Cost Savings Act, and that would ban the use of chimpanzees and other great apes in invasive experiments, and it would also release 500 federally owned chimpanzees from laboratories, send them to sanctuaries. So that's something that we are working on pretty heavily.
Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot of work. Well, you're doing a lot of good work. Can you tell us about why it was important for you to come to Artivist and what you think of the Artivist Film Festival being focused on artists and advocacy?
Yeah, I think the Artivist Film Festival is a really wonderful event. I have to say I was surprised I didn't know that all the films were free, which I'm really impressed by. And I think that film is a really great way to engage people and to, not only educate them, but really inspire them to get involved. And I think that this event is wonderful because people come and they see these wonderful films. They learn about issues that they probably wouldn't learn about otherwise in many cases. And then Artivist has connected these films with all these nonprofits and NGOs, so people actually have a way to get involved immediately when they've seen the film, when they're still feeling inspired and compelled to do something. So we were very excited to be invited to participate and hope to do it again next year.
Great. And one last question for you. How can people get involved if they want to work with PETA? What would you suggest they do?
We'll definitely visit our website. It's www.peta.org, and PETA is very involved with the community and has just hundreds of different ways for activists to get involved. And so our website's a wonderful resource. Just sign up on our mailing list, and people will get action alerts to be alerted about certain topics that they're interested in, how they can get involved and make a difference for animals. So,
well, thank you very much.
Thank you.